The sun was almost gone behind the broken towers. The city looked quiet and empty, with dust covering the ground and old lights still shining weakly in the windows. Sam walked slowly, careful not to step on any sharp metal pieces. He was the last human left on this world, or at least he thought so. His friends had gone home months ago. Sam had decided to stay, even though it was lonely and sometimes dangerous. The disease had taken almost everyone. At first, Sam wanted to leave with the others, but he saw how the aliens struggled and suffered. They were called Myral, a peaceful race with blue skin and gentle eyes. He could not forget the way they looked at him, scared and lost, asking for help even when they could hardly speak. So Sam stayed, living in a small room and helping where he could. Every day, he walked through the city, bringing food and medicine to the Myral who were still alive. Most of them were too weak to work or even walk. Some had families who had died in the night. Sam did what he could, though sometimes it felt like he was only delaying the end. One evening, as Sam was finishing his round, he heard a quiet voice behind him. He turned and saw a young Myral woman sitting by the wall, holding her knees to her chest. Her hair was silver and her skin was pale blue, shining in the last bit of sunlight. She looked at Sam with big, sad eyes. She tried to stand, but she was weak. Sam quickly helped her up. She was thin, and her hands shook as she leaned on his arm. She whispered her name was Lelia. Sam smiled and told her his name. Hoping to make her feel a little safer, Lelia began to cry, her face hidden in her hands. Sam felt a pain in his chest. He knew she was scared, but he wanted to help. He sat down beside her, waiting until she stopped crying. After a while, she looked up and spoke softly, her voice shaking. She said she had no one left. Her family had all died, and she was the last of her group. She said the disease was getting worse, and soon there would be no Myral left at all. She looked at Sam with tears on her cheeks and asked him, almost begging, if he could help her. Sam did not know what to say. He had seen many sad things since coming here, but this was different. Lelia's words sounded desperate, and he knew she was asking for more than just food or medicine. She needed hope, and maybe more than that. Lelia told Sam the elders had spoken about the humans before the disease came. Some believed humans could help save the Myral, maybe even help their kind survive. She said she was not sure what to believe anymore, but she was willing to do anything. She did not want her people to vanish. Sam listened and nodded, though he felt lost. He never thought he would be the last hope for anyone. He felt tired, but he could not turn away from Lelia. He told her he would help in any way he could. Lelia tried to smile. She reached out and took Sam's hand, her fingers cold, but gentle. She said she was grateful for him staying when others had left. She knew it was dangerous and that he could have gone home to his own people. But he had chosen to stay. Sam helped Lelia to his room, a small place with a soft bed and some old blankets. He gave her some water and a little food, and she thanked him in her quiet voice. She sat on the bed, holding her cup tightly, and Sam could see the fear still in her eyes. As night came, Sam sat by the window, watching the empty streets. He thought about his own home, about the green grass and blue sky he had not seen in so long. He thought about the Myral, about Lelia, and the others who still needed him. He knew he could not save everyone, but maybe he could make a difference. For one person, Lelia did not sleep. She watched Sam, her eyes following him as he moved around the room. She finally spoke again, her words soft and careful. She said she did not want to be alone anymore. She wanted to stay with Sam to survive. With him if they could. Sam understood. He nodded, telling her he would not leave her. He promised to stay as long as she needed him, even if it was hard. Lelia seemed to relax a little, her body sinking into the bed. She smiled for the first time, just a small smile, but it made Sam feel better. Outside, the wind blew softly, making the city seem even more empty. Sam and Lelia sat together, both feeling scared but also a little less alone. Sam knew the days ahead would be hard, but he was ready to face them. He was the last human, and Lelia was the last of her group. Together, maybe they could find a way to keep going, even when everything else seemed lost. The night was quiet. For the first time in a long while, Sam felt like he had a reason to hope. Lilia's hand was still in his, warm now, and he held it gently. They listened to the soft sounds of the city, not knowing what tomorrow would bring, but ready to face it together. The morning light came slowly into the small room. Sam woke first and saw Lilia sleeping quietly, her face calm for the first time. He moved around the room quietly, not wanting to wake her. He made a little breakfast from the last food he had, and waited for Lilia to open her eyes. Soon Lilia woke up and looked around the room. She saw Sam and gave him a small smile. She thanked him for letting her stay. Sam said she was welcome and told her he was glad she had come to him. For a while, they ate in silence, just happy to be together. After breakfast, Sam decided to check on the few other Myral he knew. He asked Lilia if she wanted to come with him. She nodded and followed him out into the city. The streets were still, empty. Some buildings were broken, and the wind moved through them, making a lonely sound. Sam and Lilia went to a small house at the end of the street. Inside, an old Myral named Evan was lying in bed. He was sick and very weak. Sam gave Evan some water and talked to him, trying to give him hope. Lilia sat near Evan and sang a quiet song, a song her mother used to sing when she was small. Evan smiled a little and thanked Lilia for her song. He told Sam he was a good person for staying. Sam just shook his head and said he could not leave when people needed him. Evan closed his eyes and rested. Sam and Lilia left the house, walking slowly back to Sam's room. On the way they found a group of 3 young Myral sitting under a tree. They looked tired and afraid. Lilia spoke to them in her soft voice. She told them about Sam and how he was helping her. The 3 young ones listened and then nodded. They asked Sam if he could help them too. Sam agreed right away, feeling glad that Lilia was with him. The small group walked together to Sam's room. It was a tight fit, but nobody complained. Some found some old blankets and made a place for everyone to rest. Lilia shared the food Sam had, making sure everyone got something. She tried to cheer up the others, telling funny stories from before the disease. For the first time, the room felt alive, not empty and sad. In the afternoon, Sam and Lilia talked quietly while the others slept. Lilia told Sam about her family. She said her mother had been a healer and her father had worked in the city gardens. They had taught her to be kind and brave. When the disease came, she tried to help, but her family got sick. She did everything she could, but they did not get better. She cried as she spoke, but Sam sat beside her and listened. Sam told her about his own family on Earth. He said he had a little sister and 2 parents who worried about him. He missed them, but he could not forget the Myral who needed help. Lilia said Sam was strong. Sam smiled, but he did not feel strong. He only felt like he was doing what was right. That evening, the group went outside to get some fresh air. The sky was pink and gold, and for a moment it felt like the world was normal again. The young Myral played a simple game, running and laughing. Sam watched and smiled. Lilia stood next to him, looking happy and hopeful. As the sun went down, Sam and Lilia sat together. Lilia told Sam that many Myral believed humans had something special in their blood, something that could fight the disease. Some Myral elders had said that if a human and a Myral had a child, that child might be healthy and strong. Lilia said she did not know if it was true, but she wanted to believe and hope. Sam listened quietly. He thought about what Lilia said. He did not know if it was possible. He had never heard of a human and a Myral having a child. But he saw how much hope it gave Lilia and the others. He wanted to help, but he was also afraid. He did not want to give them hope if it was not real. The group went back inside when it got dark. They shared a simple dinner and talked about what to do next. Lilia said they should look for more survivors. Maybe there were others hiding or too weak to move, Sam agreed. He promised to keep searching as long as he could, before going to sleep. Lilia sat beside Sam. She thanked him for everything he had done. She told him she felt safe when he was near. Sam smiled and said he was glad she was there. He felt less lonely with her and the others. That night, Sam lay awake, thinking about his choices. He could have left and gone home like the others. But now, with Lilia and the young Myral, he felt like he belonged. He wanted to help them, not just because he felt sorry for them, but because he cared about them. Lelia also could not sleep. She watched the stars from the window, her mind full of memories and hopes. She wondered if she would ever see her family again in a new world, or if she and Sam would be the start of something new. She did not know what would happen, but she knew she was not alone anymore. In the quiet room, Sam and Lelia felt a small light of hope. It was not bright, but it was enough to keep them going. They knew tomorrow would bring new problems, but they would face them together, with kindness and courage. The days passed slowly, but Sam and Lelia did not give up. Each morning they woke early to check on the survivors. Sam fixed small things around their shelter while Lelia took care of the young and the sick. Together they tried to make the place feel more like home, with soft blankets and clean water. One morning, as Sam walked outside, he heard voices nearby. He turned quickly and saw a small group of Myral approaching from the edge of the city. They looked tired and hungry. "Sam," called Lelia, who came quickly to greet them. The new arrivals told stories of hiding in caves and forests, waiting for a safe moment to come back. Lelia spoke to them kindly, promising that they would be safe now. Sam helped carry their few belongings inside. The shelter grew crowded, but no one complained. Everyone was glad to find others who survived. As more days passed, Sam taught the Myral simple things he had learned on Earth. He showed them how to find clean water and how to prepare food safely. Some Myral learned quickly and started helping him and Lelia care for the others. At night, Sam and Lelia sat outside under the stars. Lelia told Sam more about her people's past. She spoke of a time when the Myral lived in peace with many others in the galaxy. They were explorers, artists, and healers. But the plague had destroyed their cities and families. She said it felt like the whole world was ending. Sam listened and felt sadness in his heart. He wished he could fix everything, but he knew that fixing the past was impossible. Instead, he wanted to help build a new future. One day, while searching the city, Sam found a small garden still alive near an old building. The plants looked weak, but green. He brought Lelia there, and together they cared for the garden. It became a place where the survivors could rest and find fresh food. Lelia smiled more these days. She started to talk about hope, not just fear. She told Sam that maybe their two peoples could live together and make something new. Sam liked the idea. He thought maybe this broken world could become better, but not all the Myral were happy with Sam's presence. One afternoon, a man named Jace came to the shelter. He was tall and strong, with hard eyes. He said he did not trust humans. He believed they brought the disease or that they would leave the Myral to die. Jace spoke loudly, and some of the Myral listened. Lelia stood up and told Jace that Sam was their friend. She said Sam stayed when others left. She said Sam helped them all. Jace did not smile. He warned Sam to be careful. He said the Myral should protect themselves, not trust strangers. Sam felt the tension but said nothing. He knew it was hard for Jace to trust someone so different. That night, Sam talked to Lelia about Jace. She said Jace was afraid. He had lost his family and wanted to protect what was left. Sam said he understood, but hoped Jace could see that. Sam was there to help, not harm. Days later, Sam and Lelia went to find more survivors. They walked through empty streets and broken buildings. They found small groups hiding, scared and weak. Sam gave them food and water. Lelia spoke gently, offering hope. One woman told Lelia that her child was trapped under the rubble of a fallen building. The child was still alive, but no one could reach her. Sam did not hesitate. He ran to the building with a small group of Myral to try and save the child. The ruins were dangerous. The building could collapse more at any moment. Sam used all his strength to move the heavy debris. The Myral helped, but Sam's human strength made the biggest difference. After many minutes, they found the child. Scared but alive, Lelia cried with joy when they brought the child back to the shelter. The small girl was weak but safe. Sam stayed by her side, watching as she slowly began to heal. The Myral looked at Sam with new respect. He was not just a helper. He was a protector. Sam and Lelia's bond grew stronger. They shared more than just work. They talked about dreams and fears. Lelia said she wanted to live in a world where Myral and humans could Be friends, even family. Sam smiled and said he wanted the same thing. He thought maybe they could start something new, not just for themselves, but for everyone. The nights were still cold and quiet, but Sam and Lelia did not feel so alone anymore. They had each other and a small family of survivors who believed in a future. The city was broken, but their hope was growing. The days grew warmer as spring came to the broken city. Sam and Lelia worked harder than ever. The shelter was no longer just a place to stay, it was becoming a home. More Myral joined them each day. Some were weak, but others were stronger. Together they tried to rebuild their small community. Sam taught the Myral many things. He showed them how to use tools and how to fix broken machines. Lelia helped by teaching the young Myral to read simple signs and understand human ways. They worked side by side, learning from each other. The Myral were curious about humans, and Sam was happy to answer their questions. One afternoon, Sam noticed Jace watching them from a distance. Jace still did not trust Sam, but he was quiet now. Sam decided to talk to him. He found Jace sitting near the ruins, staring at the ground. Sam sat beside him and asked why he was so afraid of humans. Jace looked up and said he had seen many bad things happen. He lost his family because of the plague, and he believed humans brought the sickness. He said he was afraid that if humans stayed, the Myral would disappear forever. Sam listened carefully. He told Jace he understood his fear, but said he was not like that. He promised he would do everything to help, not hurt. Jace did not smile, but he nodded slowly. Maybe, deep down, he wanted to believe Sam. That night, Lelia and Sam sat together. Under the stars? Lelia told Sam she had thought she would be alone forever. She never dreamed a human would stay and care for her people. She said she was grateful to him. Sam held her hand gently. He said he was glad to be there, even if it was hard. He told her he believed they could make a new family together, not just of Myral or humans, but something stronger. Lelia smiled softly. She told Sam about her people's old stories. They believed that when two different worlds came together, they could create something new and beautiful. She said maybe that was their chance. The next day, Sam and Lelia found an old building to use as a new shelter. It was larger and safer than the small room they had. The Myral worked together to clean and fix it. Everyone helped carry supplies and make beds. The building felt warm with hope. Inside, Lelia told the young Myral about her family. She said her mother was a healer and she wanted to be one too. Sam said he would teach her what he knew about medicine from Earth. Lelia's eyes shone with excitement. One day, while gathering food, Sam found a small garden growing wild. He brought Lelia and some Myral to the garden. They planted seeds and watered the plants. The garden became a symbol of new life. The Myral smiled as they watched the plants grow, but danger was still near. One evening, a group of strangers came to the shelter. They were rough and angry. They did not like Sam or the Myral. They wanted to take the supplies for themselves. Sam stood in front of the shelter to protect everyone. The strangers shouted and pushed, but Sam did not move. Lelia called the Myral to stay calm. She spoke to the strangers in a strong voice, telling them the shelter was for all survivors. After a tense moment, the strangers left, but Sam and Lelia knew the city was not safe yet. They needed to be ready for more challenges. Despite this, the community grew stronger. Sam and Lelia helped the Myral feel safe and cared for. The young Myral learned to play and laugh again. They made simple games and told stories. Sam and Lelia's friendship deepened. They spent quiet moments together, sharing dreams and plans. Lelia said she hoped they could build a future where Myral and humans lived in peace. Sam agreed. He said maybe they could show the galaxy that two different worlds could come together and be stronger. Lelia smiled and squeezed his hand. One night, Lelia told Sam about a tradition of her people. When two Myral wanted to join their lives, they made a promise under the stars. It was a promise to stay together through good times and bad. Sam looked at the stars and felt a new hope. He knew the road ahead was long and hard, but with Lelia he was ready. Together they looked up at the sky, dreaming of a new beginning. The city might be broken, but their hearts were full. They would face whatever came next, side by side. The days passed and the small community continued to grow. Sam and Lilia worked together to help the Myral survivors learn new skills. They built gardens, fixed broken tools, and shared stories around small fires. The shelter was no longer just a place to stay. It was a home filled with hope. One morning, Lilia came to Sam with a serious look. She said the Myral elders had sent a message. They wanted to meet Sam and speak about the future. Sam was nervous but agreed to go. He knew this meeting could change everything. That afternoon, Sam and Lilia walked to the meeting place. The elders were waiting in a circle, their faces serious, but not angry. The leader, an old Myral named Selen, spoke first. He thanked Sam for staying and helping the Myral people. Selen said the elders had talked about the future and the possibility of humans and Myral living together. Some were afraid, but many believed it was the only way to survive. He asked Sam if he was willing to stay and be part of their community for good. Sam looked at the elders, and then at Lilia. He nodded and said he wanted to help as much as he could. He told them he wanted to build a new family with Lilia and the Myral survivors. The elders smiled, and some nodded in approval. After the meeting, Sam and Lilia walked back to the shelter. They talked about what the future might bring. Lilia said she hoped the Myral and humans could learn from each other and live in peace. Days later, Lilia came to Sam with a quiet question. She asked if he would consider marrying her. She explained the Myral tradition of marriage. It was more than a promise. It was a bond of trust and love. Sam was surprised but felt a deep happiness inside. He said yes. The small community prepared for the ceremony. The Myral cleaned the shelter and made simple decorations. They gathered around a fire under the stars, just like Lilia had told Sam before. The ceremony was simple but beautiful. Lilia and Sam stood together and made their promises. They promised to care for each other and the community. They promised to face all challenges together. The other Myral smiled and cheered. For the first time in a long time, the small city felt alive and full of joy. After the ceremony, Sam and Lilia started a new chapter. They worked harder to help the Myral heal and grow. They taught the young Myral about Earth and shared stories about their own lives. One day, a group of Myral children played near the garden. They laughed and ran under the bright sun. Sam watched them and felt a warm feeling in his heart. He knew that these children were the future, a future where Myral and humans could live as one, but life was not always easy. The disease still lingered in some places, and supplies were low. Sam and Lilia worked with the community to find new ways to stay strong. They taught the Myral how to care for the sick and how to protect themselves. Lilia's health was strong, and she became a leader in the community. Sam felt proud of her and loved her more each day. They were partners in every way. One night, as they sat together watching the stars, Lilia whispered that she was ready to have a child. Sam felt a mix of excitement and fear. He knew their child would be special, a new beginning for both their peoples. They talked long into the night about the future. They dreamed of a world where their child would grow up safe and free. They hoped their love would bring hope to the Myral and humans alike. The small city was still broken, but Sam and Lilia's love was strong. They had found a reason to keep fighting, to keep hoping. Together, they faced the unknown future with courage and hope. They were no longer just survivors. They were the start of something new, a family, a community, and a future where two worlds could become one. The months passed slowly but with new life. Lilia and Sam's love grew stronger every day. The small community of Myral continued to heal and grow. The shelter was no longer just a place to survive. It was a home filled with laughter and hope. One morning, Lilia told Sam she was expecting a child. Sam's heart filled with joy and wonder. This child was a symbol of their love and hope for a new future. The Myral smiled and welcomed the news with open arms. They believed the child would carry the strength of both their peoples. Sam and Lilia worked hard to prepare for the baby. They made a small room in the shelter, decorating it with soft cloths and simple toys. The Myral helped, bringing gifts and food. Everyone wanted to give the child the best start in life. As the months went by, the city began to change. Small plants grew in the gardens and the air felt cleaner. The Myral and humans learned to live together, sharing stories, food, and work. The fear and sadness that once filled the city started to fade. One evening, Sam and Lelia walked outside to watch the stars. Lelia rested her hand on her belly, feeling the baby move. Sam smiled and held her close. He knew their child was a promise of hope and a future, where two worlds could be one. The day finally came when Lelia gave birth. The Myral healer helped and Sam stayed by her side, holding her hand. The baby was healthy and strong, with skin a soft mix of blue and pale tones. The child opened bright eyes and looked around with curiosity. The small community celebrated the new life. The baby was named Kiran, meaning light in Myral language. Kiran was the first child born from both Myral and human. A new beginning for all. Sam and Lelia felt pride and happiness they had never known before. They knew Kiran was special. The child's life would be a bridge between two peoples. As Kiran grew, Sam taught the child about Earth, about the green trees, blue skies, and endless oceans. Lelia shared stories of Myral stars and songs. Kiran listened with wide eyes and a smile, learning from both worlds. The community grew stronger with each passing day. More Myral and humans joined them, inspired by the hope that Sam and Lelia had brought. Together they rebuilt homes and gardens. They worked to keep the city safe. One day Jace, the man who once doubted Sam, came to the shelter. He looked at Kiran and then at Sam and Lelia. He smiled and said he was sorry for not trusting them before. He said he now believed that humans and Myral could live together in peace. Sam nodded and welcomed Jace with open arms. The community felt whole again, stronger because of their differences. Years later, Sam watched Kiran play with other children in the garden. The child laughed and ran, full of life and joy. Sam felt a deep peace in his heart. He knew that the future was bright because of what they had all built together. Lelia came to his side and smiled. She said their family was proof that hope could grow even in the darkest places. Sam held her hand and looked at the stars. He remembered the day Lelia had cried to him asking for help. Now they had a new world, a world where love and courage had saved a people. Together, Sam and Lelia faced the future with hope, ready for whatever came next. Their story was one of survival, love, and a new beginning. The last human and the last Myral were no longer alone. They were family,